All right, boom. We're live. Let's go. It's week 3. I've been calling the most important fantasy week of the season, right? If you're 2-0, you're jacked. You're on the way, making the playoffs. You're 1-1, need a win. Nobody wants to start 1-2. And if you're 0-2, it is desperation mode because I don't know what the stats are, but in the real NFL, if you're 0-2, you're probably not making the playoffs. So we're going to check it out. We're going to give you guys all the advice you can handle. I got Nathan Hernandez here. It's his birthday. To help us break down some stuff, I got Anthony who's just joining, and hopefully he slides in here. Nathan, what's cooking?
Not much, birthday vibes. Trying to get off to a hot start. I went 6-3 across my leagues last week again. So staying trending positive, but just got to keep the foot on the gas and keep it rolling.
Okay, let me in. Anthony, what's cooking? I got your private message.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Just happy to be here as always, ready to talk some ball. I'm in too many leagues to remember what my record was last week, as Nathan said he had a pretty good week. But just happy to be here, happy to help you all win. See what questions y'all got going on.
Yeah, I'm having a great start too. It's awesome. It's just nothing's better than it's 8 p.m. on Sunday. You're ahead of most of your matchups. You're pretty much set. You don't need any desperation. It's just the best feeling in the world. So yeah, I'm having a great season. So I just want to start off. Let's say talk about what's led to our kind of great seasons. Is there any moves that were definitive strategies? Just a basic overall. I'll start. Anthony, I know when we did our best ball pods, I really talked about the starting strategy going running back heavy, which is more built for redraft leagues. And for best ball, you said it wasn't as imperative. You're the best ball guy, so I deferred to you. But in my leagues where I my first 4 picks, I went 3 running backs, 1 tight end. I'm in first place, and and I'm running away with it. Getting James Cook in the 4th helped. But so Anthony, anything for you? I told you to try to find a couple of your best ball teams that you loved.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to log in now. I know I have one.
I'll just pivot to Nathan while you find it.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan, how about you? Any specific moves or strategies that have really helped you so far?
Yeah, I loaded up on receivers in a lot of leagues, and a lot of hero RB teams. I have a lot of elite QB, elite tight end, with 3 or 4 receivers in the first 6 rounds.
Okay, so
and that seems to have it's worked out for me across the board. I think just having the depth at that position has kept me afloat.
Okay, any specific players? Anyone I got Roma Dunze in every league, and he's really popping up on my teams.
I wound up with Ibuka in 7 leagues, and he has been a big part of my weekly success. Just having someone that late in drafts, he was going, at least in my home leagues, he was going in at least the 9th round and beyond. I got him as late as the 13th, I think, in a standard league, and he's been in my starting lineup there.
So let's just stay on Ibuka quickly. He is looking like he's going to play, but have snaps monitored. I'm benching him this week because I don't really trust it. Plus, it's the Philly defense, which is really good. Godwin's probably going to be back next week, so this might be the last peak Ibuka. What are you doing? I'm not playing him.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how desperate you are. If you need a big ceiling play with the talent there, you can play him and hope that he can give you a full game of snaps. But I would personally look elsewhere and try and start someone else where you can.
Okay, Anthony, you ready?
Yeah. So I found what gone through 600 teams. This is one of my highest scoring teams. I won't say it's the highest scoring. It's a Dalmatian league, so it was one of the $1 lottery ticket tournament styles. And what I'm noticing is, let's see. I had the 101, so I went Jamar Chase, obviously, and then I went elite quarterback. I kind of went hero running back with James Cook. A little 3-man weave at tight end with 2 mid-round guys and a late-round guy. And then the rest was kind of filled in with quarterback. So I think that, an elite quarterback is always a good strategy because they get the most points. John, I know you'd rather go elite tight end. But that seemed to have worked for me a bit more. I'm looking at my second highest scoring team in this league, and quite a bit different, actually. I went Baker, Dak, and Tua, so some mid-round quarterbacks. Again, I went with the hero running back with I have Achan and then Swift and some RB2s. This team does have Quinshon Judkins, though, so maybe that'll help coming back. And I did kind of hammer quarterback a bit earlier. I went Neighbors, Evans, Pickens, Egbuka.
Wide receiver.
In the first, receiver, that's what I meant. All within the first, 6 rounds or 6 or 7 rounds or so at the time. So I think you could have switched it up a little bit, but what seems to have worked for me is really kind of focusing on getting 1 or 2 really good wide receivers, along with having 1 good running back and then just filling it in from there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's no real universal strategy that's worked. I really felt like mine was the most effective, but it sounds like yours are working too. Sometimes it's also about who you didn't draft, right? Because this wide receiver thing is crazy, right? Justin Jefferson's not a great start. Chase had the 1 great game. Nico Collins has been shit. Brian Thomas Jr. has been shit. Drake London's been shit. So that's just crazy. So I'm heavy on Drake London in a lot of leagues, and that's not going great. But just not having those guys has been a big boon. Neighbors had an okay week 1, had a crazy week 2. So he's been kind of the only elite wide receiver that's been trustworthy. Also, AJ Brown's been shit.
I'm glad that you brought up Neighbors because you had to know I was going to. I was going to say, look who you left off the list of everyone who's playing like shit. My guy Malik Neighbors. But no, he had the so week 1. He did have 12 targets in week 1, so it was more so just Russell Wilson and the offense in general. But yeah, week 2, he absolutely killed it. Week 2.
Yeah, it was insane. That moonshot, he grabbed the touchdown. I felt like he was catching it right away, even though he got pass interference. That's crazy. All right, guys, I see your questions are building up. We're just going to get a little build up so we can get a little flow going. Make sure if you're watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube so you can subscribe, and you can drop comments. That's very important. Where should we go here? So you brought up Quinshon Judkins. I think that's a really important player going forward. He had 10 carries, 62 yards against Baltimore, an elite run defense. He said he's going to be a starting RB1, so Dylan Sampson's probably expendable. But do we start him this week against the Packers, who probably have the best defense in the league? I say no. Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, I'd say the upside is really great for the rest of the season for Judkins, but I would err on the side of caution for this week against Green Bay. He could just have 20 touches for 80 scoreless yards, and that's all you get.
Okay, Anthony, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to start Judkins this week. It looks like the Packers have really been able to stifle the running backs. If I'm reading this, Nathan, let me know if I'm reading this right. They are allowing to be the 4th or 5th fewest points to running backs per game, as they're ranked 28th. So I don't think that this is the week that you want to start Judkins. He looked pretty good last week. He averaged 6 yards a carry in what was his NFL debut, with missing really the entire offseason. So like Nathan said, I think, there's going to be much better days ahead, and he's a guy that you're going to want on your roster maybe in the next couple of weeks. But for today, I would avoid him. And I wouldn't start Dylan Sampson either. The RB2 there that's been getting some work. I wouldn't start either one of them.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's we only got 2 weeks of stats, and also sometimes one game can really overpower them. But if you just do a little micro into it, so the Packers rush D is great. Who do they play? They play Detroit, maybe the best running team in the league. Week 2, who the Packers play, Nathan? You know?
Thursday night, Washington.
Another good running team, right? Even though Eckler tore his Achilles and Brian Thomas is gone. But so I think that's a rushing defense we can really believe in, right? Whereas I think the Cowboys' pass defense is kind of looks like it's good. But they played Philly week 1, who doesn't pass. And then, I guess Neighbors, Russell killed them. So it's probably not that great. But the Cowboys defense looks good on paper statistically, but I think that's an outlier. That game versus the Bears on Monday, I think it's Monday, is going to be maybe the biggest shootout in history. Chicago's down 3 of their DBs. Dallas, Deron Bland's out. I think Trevon Diggs might be out. The total I don't care what the total is. It's going to go over.
I think it's at 53.5. I want to say, or 50.5. I'm sorry. Monday's game is Baltimore, Detroit, and that one is 53.5.
Okay.
John, you get everyone in game, so it sounds like for you it's Dallas, Chicago.
Yeah, obviously, I think I'd Rome as a top 10 wide receiver this week. DJ Moore hasn't been great. Must start both of those. I'd be starting Pickens over wide receiver 1s this week.
Ooh. That's interesting.
I would start Pickens over Brian Thomas Jr. because it's just if you need that win, Because it's like, what are you going to do if these guys had 2 slow starts? Would you rather bench him, and if he has the great game in third, you can play him the rest of the year, or you play him if he's bad again? That's 3 bad games in a row. What are you going to do? It's really tough. Like Drake London, I'm going to play. I'm going to play Nico, but the way Jacksonville's moving the ball around, plus they're very rush heavy. They're playing Houston. Just read Trevor Lawrence is like the lowest QBR of any division opponent in like NFL history. It's like 34. Houston just kills him.
I tell you what, though, just sticking on Brian Thomas Jr., this might be the get right game for him because the Texans are a top 10 matchup for wide receivers to play. So,
you sure?
According to the spreadsheet, well, wide receiver points allowed, they're top 10. So it's a top 10 matchup if I'm reading that correctly, unless I'm not.
Well, I guess Houston, they played the Rams, right? Puka and Devontae had good weeks, and then week 2, Houston played.
Houston played week 2. Who did they play week 2? Let me see. Let me go to the schedule. Week 2. I don't know why I can't think of it. It was the Bucks on Monday Night Football.
Okay, Buka had a good game. So see, but it's just weird because then I read that the Houston they're bad against the run. They've been terrible against the run, and then they've been good against the pass, or at least their D line's getting good, like a pass rush percentage. It's just that's what it's hard. It's hard incorporating all these different stats and percentages through 2 games, and one could be an outlier. Like if you played maybe a terrible offense, maybe your defense looks better. So
my concern with the Jags this week is with Houston being their pass rush being as strong as it is, and Trevor Lawrence just not performing well under pressure and so far in his career. Like John was saying, I would err on the side of taking the upside with the Pickens tier over Brian Thomas this week.
Yeah, it's tough. And then also like Dynamic Brown's been used a lot. Parker Washington had a good game, right? He's kind of spreading the ball around. So it's tough. Plus, I think they're one of their top 5 rushing team right now, right? So, it depends what you are. If you're 2-0, sure, start Brian Thomas Jr. But if you're 0-2 and you're desperate, I mean, what's another good? Like, obviously, Neighbors were starting over for anyone in the Chiefs. What about Hollywood Brown? Xavier Worthy's out. Giants are terrible defensively. At least pass defense, right, Anthony?
No, I'm going to start Brian Thomas Jr. over Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just go with the talent there. I really think this could be the get-right game for Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going to go through some names with you. Stick with George Pickens here of guys you'd rather start. Since you said you start him over some wide receiver ones, would you start him over Garrett Wilson?
No. Garrett Wilson and Tyrod Taylor's a better QB. Wilson has a 37% target share. It's like the 3rd highest in modern history. I'm starting Garrett Wilson. I'm starting Garrett Wilson almost over everyone.
Okay. So you're just abnormally high on Wilson this week. What about T-Mac? McMillan.
Ted, Carolina is playing with Atlanta. Atlanta's had a pretty good D. Ted,
Atlanta's had a really good defense.
I don't really.
Carolina just lost their center and guard too, I believe.
All right.
I would start Pickens over Ted.
Okay, and I'll just give you a quick 2-pack here, and then we can move on. DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley are the 2.
DK Metcalf
over Pickens.
Huh?
Over Pickens.
Yeah, I don't know. Christian Gonzalez is out. That Pats defense has been terrible. That's tough. DK. I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I'd probably go DK because this could be a Lamb 200-yard receiving game. So that's the only real worry. Whereas like DK, I'm not worried about Calvin Austin, the 3rd having 200 receiving yards.
See, I'd go Pickens over DK.
I'm with Christian Gonzalez out.
You're not going to get me to trust a wide receiver 1 in Arthur Smith's offense. They haven't finished better than like wide receiver 38 since he was with the Titans as the offensive coordinator with A.J. Brown. So I'm pretty much just out on the Pittsburgh offense as a whole, I think.
Yeah, I am most games too, but I think the Pats defense is pretty terrible. But it's really tough. I mean, I love Pickens this week. I think that Bears pass defense is just awful, and I think the Cowboys defense is awful. So I think it's got a nice shootout. Okay, let's just vamp for a little bit more, and then we'll hit some questions. So guys, hit us with all your start sits, any of your crazy questions. We're gonna get to them in a second. We're also gonna do a little DFS with Goncalo. He's gonna jump in at 11. So we got a couple more minutes to build up some questions. Anyone got anything they want to go with? Any stat? Any matchup?
And let me pull. There was a matchup I saw that I low key liked, but now I'm back on week 2. Week 3, it was Vikings. Vikings Bengals. I think could be a sneaky, really good game.
Yeah. So we were talking about kind of the guys. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
The guys that helped us. Jordan Mason was one of my favorite targets. He's my biggest regret. I only got him in one league. I think he's going to have an absolute awesome. Well, Nathan, where did you have him in your running back ranking this week? I would have him top 10.
I think I had him at. I had him at 14, but I would move him up to RB12.
Okay. I mean, Bengals have been terrible against the run, but the Vikings, they've run the fewest amount of plays in the league. Now they got Carson Wentz, so it's going to be a bit of a adjust on the fly. But let's talk backup QBs. I'll go with you. Which backup QB would you start if you had to choose one of them? Right, Jake Browning, Carson Wentz, Mac Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and one more I'm forgetting.
For me, it would be. I don't even know that it matters who the last one is per se. I would either go with. Jake Browning. Or, who was it? Oh, Mariota. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna go with. I would either start Mac Jones or Jake Browning. Mac Jones threw 3 touchdowns last week. Kyle Shanahan we've seen he can make almost any quarterback work in his system. He made, what's his name? Nick Mullins look like a pretty damn good quarterback. So Mac Jones, I think, is a good option.
Are you worried about Juwan Jennings? He's questionable. He didn't really practice all week, and it's a 4:25 game, so you might not know till it's too late.
No, not really. I think I think there's just going to be a lot of swing passes into Christian McCaffrey, and then probably feeding my guy Ricky Pearsall. So I'm not too worried about that. The Kyle Shanahan offense, the scheme, the system, the mind, the play calls really helps cover a lot of deficiencies in that offense. But I think I would probably go Jake Browning over Mac Jones, I guess, to really answer the question. Jake Browning completed like 70% of his passes last year. He was like, when he started for Joe Burrow, he was low-key, I think, like top 10 in some stats. I saw something this morning. I think Adam Schefter tweeted it out. I can't remember the exact numbers, but he performed pretty well last year. That offense has a ton of weapons.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Sorry, it was 2 years ago. Thank you. Zach Taylor, I mean, I don't know that he's a great head coach per se, but he's a good offensive coach. So I would like Jake Browning, I think, if I had to pick a backup quarterback to start this week.
Okay, questions are building up. We're going to get to them right now. But Nathan, give me what backup QB are you going with?
Yeah, I think that that's a good shout. I wouldn't bat an eye at Marcus Mariota either this week. He's the Raiders defense is pretty suspect, and Washington's O-line is pretty good, and they've got good weapons. If he can just distribute, I think he's a solid plug-in for like a QB2 this week.
Okay, but that goes to something. Oh, Nathan, your video is gone. I was just talking about, so stats-wise, the Raiders are, I think, a top 5 team against the run, but they're bottom against the pass. Mariota can't really throw. He's a running QB. Anthony, do you think does that help him because it'll make it easier to pass and maybe he'll be able to run either way? Like, where would you want that defense to be? Would you want them to be terrible against the run and good against the pass, for Mariota specifically? Anthony?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix my...
We're just going to move on to questions here. Okay. Hampton Production says, what up, guys? Okay, what up? Let's hope your boy has a good game. Okay, Joe Botafuco. We got PPR in the flex, Brian Thomas Jr. or J.K. Dobbins. This is great. Dobbins is playing the Chargers. They've got one of the best defenses in the league. I think they're third. They're the best against the running back position so far. Brian Thomas Jr. Get right game. What are you doing?
I am going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. Talent, the matchup. I think it's going to be a good get right game for him. I think we'll see RJ Harvey get a little bit more and more involved. So give me BTJ over J.K. Dobbins, especially in a full PPR.
Okay, Nathan, what are you doing? J.K. Dobbins, because Chargers have been elite versus running backs, but they've played the Chiefs, who don't run the ball, and the Chargers played. They played the Raiders, Genty, who's been terrible running the ball so far. So yeah, this is tough for me.
This is tough. I really like Dobbins. He was my guy for me this year. I think that he is a complete stranglehold on the goal line role. He's got he is the RB1 right now. Like for certain. And it's a divisional matchup, a revenge game too, in a sense for him. He was there last year. I like Dobbins here. It should be another good week for him.
Yeah, because the Chargers run defense might not be that great, right? So this is tough for me. So I've got in a Dobbins. Anthony, would you go Dobbins or Tyler Warren? Because I have that decision, or Josh Downs.
I would probably go with.
Indy's playing Tennessee, who's been pretty bad against the pass.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Dobbins there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just hopefully get the touchdown. Okay.
Who's your tight end if you were thinking Tyler Warren in the flex, by the way?
Sorry?
Who's your tight end if you were thinking Tyler Warren as a flex play? Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'd go Dobbins, but I was just curious.
Morning, guys. What are your thoughts on this trade I made? I traded CMC, Ibuka, Tillman, and Juwan Johnson. Okay, this is crazy. For Chase Brown, JSN, Tet, and Likely, 12-team PPR. I got Nico and Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, so CMC is the best player in the trade. I traded Ibuka, Tillman, and Juwan Johnson. So it's really CMC and Ibuka, Chase Brown, JSN, Tet. I don't know. We'll just do this quickly. Nathan, what do you like here? I like it, JSN.
Yeah, I like it. And if you have a different starting tight end, and likely you're getting for like an upside to stash while he gets healthy, then as just a bonus, I like that.
Okay, Anthony, yeah, that's true. Likely was one of my favorite players this summer.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Brown, JSN, T-Mac side, with the side of Isaiah Likely as well. CMC and Ibuka is great. I just don't really believe in Tillman long term. Juwan Johnson has been performing well, but is that really going to last? Chase Brown's a stud. JSN's a stud. Tet is going to be a volume monster. And then Nathan already talked about the upside of Likely, so I would go with that side. But it is a really good and really interesting trade.
Yeah, the only thing I worry Chase Brown, the O-line, Jake Browning, it's maybe it'll be better for him. Maybe Browning will check down more, but it's a little sketchy right now. Running backs with bad O-lines is one of my deal breakers. All right, ice cold OG Jones. Who should I start? Russell Wilson, Mac Jones, or Jake Browning? Okay, Anthony, this is all you. So we got 2 backup QBs and Russell, maybe a future backup QB.
I would probably go with Browning in this situation. I know Russ had a good game last week. The Dallas defense is a great game, 450 yards. Great game. I just am skeptical. Maybe it's just because I'm a Giants fan, and so I have a negative bias at the moment with the state of the team. But I just don't know that he's going to put up those numbers this week. I think it's going to be a relatively low-scoring game against the Chiefs. So I would go with Browning, and I already kind of talked about why I'd go Browning over Jones a few minutes ago, so I won't belabor that point.
Okay, Nathan?
Yeah, I'd go Browning here. The Chase Brown has been so inefficient on the ground. The Bengals' best mode of offense is still just getting the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins downfield, and Jake Browning's going to do that.
Yeah, I just worry that we know the Vikings are going to blitz. They've been really bad against the run, good against the pass this season, which I don't think is, going to be indicative for the rest of the season. But I think you blitz Browning with that O-line. I think since he could struggle to move the ball, that would be my only worry. I might go Mac here. Yeah, Russ, KC. It's a must-win game for KC. I don't know if Russ can do it back-to-back games. But so that one's tough. I'd lead Mac, but I need Juwan Jennings to play. So Browning's not a bad choice because if Minnesota can run it up on Cincy, maybe he's got to throw again. Browning's got to throw again like last game. All right, George C. Terry or Pearsall? Ooh, this one's easy for me. I think it's got to be easy for you too, right?
It's got to be Ricky P, baby.
All right. Okay. So Ricky P. Let's say Jaden Daniels was playing. Then are we doing McLaurin? Because McLaurin's had 2 bad games in a row. Well, let's just say Jaden Daniels was playing for hypothetical.
Probably still going Ricky P.
Wow, I love it. Okay, Nathan, what about you?
If Jaden was here, I'd go Terry, but it's Pearsall here. Okay,
so I wrote about benching Terry with Mariota out there. Who would you play? So you'd play Pickens, obviously Pickens over Terry. Like, what's the line? Jacoby Myers over Terry? Would you do Wan'Dale Robinson over Terry McLaurin?
Ooh,
Wan'Dale. I love the Wan'Dale shout out.
That's close. I think I might still lean Terry just because I think the Raiders secondary is suspect.
That's a really good point too, right? They got a bottom 2, bottom 3, bottom 1 secondary. But so
yeah.
I mean Mariota, what's he gonna have? Is he gonna have 150 passing yards?
And 3 touchdowns.
That's the tough part for me. with Mariota is like how much are they really going to do in the passing game? Terry's going to definitely be a lot lower for me than consensus for sure. I think he's a consensus like top 20 receiver this week, which I think is pretty generous, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a matchup, right? It's ideal. Raiders top 5 rush defense, bottom 5 pass defense. Like that's a good situation for it. But if you have a QB who can't get you the ball, doesn't really matter. All right, Mando, dog with the headphones. What up? Full PPR start, 2 running back, 1 flex. Okay, 2 running back, 1 flex. Ramondre, DeAndre Swift, Omari Hampton. We're going DK Metcalf, Juwan Jennings. Crazy for leading Swift, Stevenson, and DK. Okay, Nathan, we're 2 running back, 1 flex. We're probably going to flex DK Metcalf, right?
Yeah, I think so. And for the running backs, oh man, Hampton's role was so bad in week 2.
And
I think Swift is like a terrible, as bad as it feels to say, he's the lock to start of the 3. Just because you want to get people in that Dallas game, and as whether or not we like it, Swift is the RB1 in Chicago. And Stevenson, I was completely wrong on. I thought he was going to start to fade out, but they are not ready to trust Henderson. They even played Antonio Gibson over Henderson for a little bit there.
So can we bench Hampton? Nathan, Anthony, could you bench Hampton? They're playing Denver, top defense. He hasn't looked great. Chargers have really been throwing the ball. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, oh boy. I don't really love any of these options. I think Stevenson and Swift are probably 2 that you're going to start. I don't love DK. We don't know if Jennings is going to play. And do you need to make that decision? Do you need to make the Hampton decision before? Do they play at 1 o'clock, the Chargers, or do they play at later as well? Looks like they
play at 1.
2 AFC West teams. Oh, is it 1?
Or 1 for me, I guess. 10.
Wow. Yeah.
So Stevenson, right? The Steelers have been terrible defending the run, right? Everyone's been gashing them. Travion Henderson's not really getting the carries that everyone thought out of this exciting preseason. Stevenson's also good catching the ball. I don't think you're crazy for leaning Swift, Stevenson, DK, right? If Hampton burns you get to play him rest of the season.
I agree. I think it is. Stevenson is like, I should flip my tune a little bit more. Stevenson should be like a good play. I have him as my RB 26, I think. And of these choices, he's not a bad call against Pittsburgh.
Full PPR too, right? Hampton's not really involved in the receiving game. We know Swift is probably going to get 3-4 receptions. Stevenson, I think, broke a big one last week. Okay. You're not crazy, Mando. Not crazy. George C. Also need a streaming QB. Oh, God. Okay, Jake Browning, Russ, Mac Jones, Mariota, Rattler, Penix.
Ooh, Penix.
Anthony, I don't know. Anyone we're just ruling out?
I'm going to rule out. Sorry. Hang on. Sorry about that. I'm going to rule out Russ. No, I'm going to rule out Mariota and Rattler right now.
Mariota and Rattler. Okay. And that's smart. Yeah, Seattle defense is great. Russ. Okay, KC. Okay, so Browning, Penix had 5 points last week. Now he's going against Carolina, who are terrible against the run. They're pretty elite against the pass, but that might just be because teams are running on them. I don't know. Nathan, anyone quickly? Anyone you want to go?
I like Penix here. A guy who's got his 3rd week in the offense under his belt. I guess Russ does too there, and Rattler as well. But Carolina is just a big matchup advantage for them, I think, on their Atlanta's offense versus Carolina's defense. And with the injuries up front for Carolina's offense, they could be turning the ball over more against Atlanta's good defense. They could just be set up in good field position all day. I'd like Atlanta's offense to maybe be a sneaky explosion for them this week.
Okay. Anthony, are you not worried that maybe Bijan just has 25 rushes for 180 yards?
That could certainly be an issue, as the Panthers' run defense was bad last year. It started out bad this year. I mean, that's certainly a concern for me. It'd be between Penix and Browning for me, because I know that the Bengals are going to throw the ball, but I would lean Penix. I'd lean him. It's in the matchup. The Vikings defense isn't that bad. I would go Penix, but it would be between him and Browning for me.
That's tough. I'm honestly, Mariota's looking a little attractive because I know he's going to rush for 60, 70 yards. And if he gets a rushing touchdown.
And a revenge game.
Revenge game, yeah, okay. That one's tough, my man. Yeah, sorry, we got to keep going. And then Goncalo, if you're listening, I'm going to bring you in a minute. Let's just clean up these last couple questions. All right, Juwan Jennings or Marquise Brown for the flex. Also Pittman, Juan Carlos Garcia. I think this is a no-brainer. Xavier Worthy's out. The Giants are terrible. I think Hollywood's going to get about 12 targets again. Probably bring in 6, 7. I think he's got 80 yards and a touchdown. Almost borderline floor. I think he could have a huge blow-up game because Kelsey sucks. And Juwan Jennings, we don't even know if he's going to play. He didn't really practice all week. So, does anyone, Anthony? I know you like your Michael Pittman.
I do like Pittman. I've kind of softened on this year on him as I was very wrong last year. But Daniel Jones has been looking real good to the point where I would probably go Pittman here and feel pretty good about it for as good as you can, I guess. It would be Michael Pittman for me.
What's with I don't understand this Hollywood Brown hate. I mean, where are these out, right? Like the Chiefs, they love to pass. They can't run the ball. He's their only good receiver. He had the 14 targets in week 1. I'm starting Hollywood exceptionally high this week.
Mm-hmm.
So the Titans give up the 6th most points to wide receivers as well.
Yeah, they've been bad. Yeah.
So yeah, that pushes me more towards. I'd go Pittman.
Okay, Pittman. Okay, Nathan.
Picking 2 here, Pittman and Brown for sure.
Oh, sorry, I forgot we had to choose 2. Okay, yeah, Hollywood and Pittman. Okay, so Jennings. We just don't want to trust somebody who's hurt. Okay, yeah, Goncalo, I see you. I'm gonna let you in. Let me just get this let's get these questions quickly. I need to bench 2 players: Olave, Pearsall, Ridley, Hollywood. Okay, well, I'm benching Olave and Ridley. Nathan.
Agree.
Okay, we can just make a consensus. I think I might play Olave over Ridley, but I'm fine.
I said we're benching Olave and Ridley.
Oh, duh. Sorry. Yeah. I'd co-sign that.
Okay. We're gonna take a quick little 2-second break or a couple minute break here. We're gonna bring in Goncalo. Goncalo, what up,
guys?
man? We are gonna talk some DFS. So you do our DFS expert, right? You do what? Football, basketball.
Yeah, I do football and basketball. Right now, the NBA season hasn't started, so I'm doing Thursday, Sunday slate, and the Monday slate. And
Okay,
we're here
cool.
to talk about it. Sorry.
No, that's all right. So what's been the good trends this year for football? What have you been making money on? What do you like kind of this week?
I usually like to go over the games with the highest points totals of the week, and then go a bit against the grain with some other games, picks against the projected ownerships, and go from there.
Okay, so like the Cowboys, we were talking before, the Cowboys-Bears game. So that's the game where you want to get guys in?
Yeah, but this week, most weeks, the points totals are closer together. And this week, I believe that the Cowboys and the Bears game have a points total that's 5 points higher than the second and the third highest games. So I'm really high on Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze this week.
Yeah.
I know you're a Rome guy, so I figured we could start there.
Okay, so yeah, it's Rome City. So would you start Caleb? What's the price difference? DFS I know a bit, but so Caleb versus Dak.
Caleb, let me confirm the prices. Caleb is priced at 7,100, and Dak is $200 with a higher price tag. But if you want to stack both Caleb and Rome, I believe that the price difference between Dak and Lamb reaches north of $2,000.
Okay.
So I prefer the Caleb and Rome stack.
Okay. So what are some of the is there a way to use fantasy and DFS? Like, will you see a guy whose price may be really high or low at DFS, and maybe that translates to fantasy for like a start sit?
I mostly use them to like decide between the lower end starts and sits players. The short picks, I'm probably not going to use them always on DFS. On fantasy, I will start those players. One example on this slate is Jordan Mason. that I think is a must start on fantasy. Even on DFS, he has a high projected ownership, so I think I'll fade them. Even with both starting quarterbacks are out, so I believe that game could get a little bit rough. So I don't know if I want to start Jordan Mason when he's projected to be like the third or fourth highest owned running back.
Okay. Yeah,
Other than that,
yeah. Okay. What's a good alternative? What's a good one alternative you're going for? Because maybe that'll help us start sits.
you talked about Quinton Judkins, and that you would sit him in fantasy, but I think on DFS he has 5,600 price tag. And last week, he only played 27% of the snaps and had 6.1 yards per carry against a great Baltimore run defense. And this week, he's playing against Green Bay, who's also been a great run defense. But last week, Green Bay was able to get to Goff quickly, and Flacco plays more like a statue than Goff. So I think the Cleveland could rely on their run game, and Judkins could have a big game due to that. He never missed a game in college, and in every season he produced. So I think once he gets started, he will start with a breakout game and then continue on to the rest of the season, and this could be it.
Okay.
Gotcha. So you're basically saying you want to be early in DFS, get ahead of the price changes to get him in your lineup before like the price matches his opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Okay. What?
Oh, go ahead, John.
Go ahead. No, go. You got something? Go.
Yeah, I just had a quick question for you. When it comes to DFS, because I know with best ball, like we're playing for week 17, obviously, so we like to do. We like to stack games for like week 17, and assuming you make it there, week 17 is where the money's made, right? So for DFS, we've talked about the Cowboys and the Bears game, high scoring game, get everyone in game. You talked about liking the Caleb Roma-Dune stack for DFS. Would you try to fit somebody like Jake Ferguson or George Pickens in for like what we would call a bring back? So if it's a high scoring game, you have somebody on the other side that's likely going to score high as well. Do you like to do that, or is that not something you employ in DFS?
It depends on the game. Most weeks I'd say no, but this week with the highest the Bears at Cowboys, according to the booking lines, have a really big advantage in points total. So I get doing that with Pickens, especially because without Jalen Johnson, the Bears secondary, I think will focus a lot on CeeDee Lamb, and Pickens could have a really big game.
Okay.
So it makes sense in that regard.
And then but you were talking about like high ownership, so everyone thinks the same, right? Everyone's like, oh, Dallas, Chicago, we got to get in this game. So like in week 1, everyone thought that Pittsburgh Jets game would go under, and I think it was the only game to go over. So right, going counterintuitive to what everybody thinks is smart, what's a game that you think might have a low total or low expectations that would be in theory a good game to invest in?
I like the San Francisco Arizona game. I really liked watching Mac Jones play last week. He was a favorite of Kyle Shanahan since draft day, and I really like stacking Jones with Christian McCaffrey.
Anthony
Not
W.
how
Ricky
you were going to
Pearsall.
say. I thought you were going to say Ricky Pearsall.
Oh,
I like CMC too. Ricky Pearsall is just my guy. That's who I thought you were leaning towards.
Okay, and go ahead.
The thing with Mac Jones is, let me get my numbers right. I believe he has one of the highest checkdown rates in the league since he entered it. So that's why I'm going with CMC. The Cardinals faced Bryce Young and Spencer Rattler in the first 2 weeks, and I believe that Mac Jones and Shanahan combo is miles better than every single one of those QB coaches pairing. So I think I really don't see the Cardinals going 3-0, and I like Jones.
And I think the Arizona secondary is really banged up too. Okay, Gonzalo, last question. I'm gonna let you go here. I call it QB Armageddon. What are which backup QB would you start for DFS if you had to go with one, or you can rank them for me, whatever you want to do?
I think I have Mac Jones first,
yeah,
and then Browning.
Okay.
I'm really not a fan of Mariota. For this week, I want to see it before before I play him, but he has like one of the highest projected ownerships of the slate. And with Eckler out, I really don't know how their running back touches will go. I believe Deebo Samuel is a nice value because without Jaden and without Eckler, I think he could see some manufactured touches and some running back touches in the red zone.
Okay, awesome. All right, man. Yeah, thanks a lot. Maybe we'll keep having you on every week if you want. Maybe next week we'll just build a team and we'll all be in on it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, man. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Okay, cool.
Little DFS action involved. I like that. I like that he was a little different than us too on the backup quarterback. He prefers Mac Jones as his preferred backup quarterback. I think that was really interesting.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. Okay, I enjoyed that. Okay, so where were we here? So start to. Oh, sorry. Here we are. Nicholas Van Brunt. Okay. Whoa, nice profile pic, bro. Handsome. Superflex League, 6 points. Okay, I always love that. Do I start Stafford or Browning? I already played Allen. Well, I mean, we got Stafford. We got playing Philly. I think that's gonna be a low-scoring game. I think Philly hasn't scored a passing touchdown, and I think the Rams have only allowed one. And then Browning. We talked about a bit. Anthony, what are we doing here? Are we on?
This is so ugly. I think. Oh man.
Not that ugly. I mean, Stafford's been pretty good this season.
Yeah, I think I lean. Oh man, I think I lean Browning just because the Eagles' defense is really good. But that just sounds like the wrong answer, right? Like starting Jake Browning over Matt Stafford. But if you're going to catch me in a pinch at 11 a.m. On Sunday morning, Browning is probably who I would lean with at the moment.
Okay, yeah, I guess maybe if we're talking who's more likely to have rushing touchdowns, it won't be the Rams, but again, the Eagles' rush defense is elite. Nathan, what are we doing? This one seems tough. I'm probably going Stafford. I don't really believe in Browning.
Yeah, this one's tough. I think Stafford has looked really good this season, and it's just a question of whether or not they can keep him upright against the Eagles' pass rush. I doubt they're going to try and run Kyron Williams into Jalen Carter over and over again, so I feel like they're going to try and get it done through the air here. I'd probably lean Stafford.
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of this Vikings team. We know they got a top 10 blitz rate, but they've just been terrible against the run and great against the pass. But last year it was flipped. So really, is it just an anomaly? So who's Minnesota played so far this year? They played
Atlanta
Chicago
and Chicago.
Right? So those are two teams that kind of like to throw the ball, but it's tough. It's tough. I'd trust Stafford. You got to trust Stafford more than Browning. He's a pretty big game player. Just Browning, he had 3 picks. They're gonna send the noise. All right, Kent, what up, my man? Start 2 full PPR. All right. Wow. I mean, what are we doing here? Okay. Nico, JSN, DJ Moore. Nico, JSN are 2 of my favorite wide receivers. I didn't really get them anywhere because everyone else liked them a little bit more than me. Anthony, is there any way you're starting DJ Moore over these 2 superstars just because the matchup is so goddamn juicy?
No, there's not. I do think DJ Moore is a good play this week because it's a good matchup, but I just can't start him over Nico Collins and JSN, both who are probably top 10 consensus wide receivers this week. JSN has just been absolutely killing it with the target share. Nico Collins is just a flat-out superstar he's done well this season too so far, I think. But yeah, there's just no way that I can play. No, he hasn't. Maybe I know he got a touchdown last week. Maybe that's just what I'm thinking. There's just no way I can start DJ Moore over those 2 guys this week.
Okay, yeah, Nathan. Can you even make the argument?
Yeah, I think that you just have to start the talent there. DJ Moore hasn't shown enough of a ceiling with his role yet to trust him.
Okay, let's say it was Nico, Jason, and Rome. Who are you benching?
Nico.
Oh my God! I mean, yeah, you might have to.
Jags pass rush against the Houston offensive line is tough too.
Yeah, Jags secondary sucks too, though. Anthony,
Yeah.
Did you bench Nico Collins? I feel like I'd get struck down by lightning.
Who was the third option again? It was
Rome.
Rome. Oh boy.
I ain't benching Rome. I ain't benching JSN. So I don't know.
Yeah, at that point, I might bench Nico at that point, which feels ugly, but Rome has just been absolutely on fire to start this year. I think he's had 20-plus points in both of his games, or close to it. The one was definitely over. The one was pretty close.
Week 2 was over. He had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, week 1 he had, I think, 52 yards and touchdown.
Okay, so pretty close in a couple catches. Yeah, I mean, oh boy, I'd probably end up benching Nico there and not feel good about it.
I'd just probably side bet his prop over or something.
Sure.
Mr. Magic, Jalen Warren or Keenan PPR? Okay, I mean, the Steelers' rush game has been terrible. Pat C is not very good. They said they want to get Warren more involved, but is that just talk? Keenan has been absolutely excellent to start the year. He will not last. But now they're playing Denver. They got 3 capable wide receivers. Nathan, what are you doing here? I'm probably leaning Jalen Warren.
I like Jalen Warren here, especially if Rodgers can live up to his word and actually start giving him more targets. If we see him creep up on somehow get like the Devon Achane, Christian McCaffrey level of targets, then he could really explode. Because I think that's where he succeeds, is just getting the ball in open space, just swinging it out to him and letting him run wild.
Yeah, I just love Jalen Warren too. He was big. He's just always been a big guy of mine. The Caleb Johnson thing, I never bought the hype, and then we saw last week the ball went over his head. He might be toast. Anthony, any? I think you're a big Keenan guy, aren't you?
I am. Keenan Allen is he's one of my favorite receivers of his generation. He's just been perennially underrated. One of the best route runners that I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's only been 30 years. So, but that said, I am going to reluctantly go Jalen Warren here. He's kind of been the bell cow-ish for the Steelers. I'm surprisingly haven't used Jalen Warren at all. They just elevated Trey Sermon. I don't think Trey Sermon is going to be much of a scare to Jalen Warren. I think it's more telling for Caleb Johnson. I just think it means that Jalen Warren is going to get a lot more work. Maybe they brought up Trey Sermon because he can play special teams, and Caleb Johnson isn't going to play special teams. So sometimes you've just got to play that game with the last couple roster spots where maybe the better talent at the position isn't going to get the spot because you need somebody on special teams. So all that said, I will go Jalen Warren. Unfortunately, but I do love me some Keenan Allen.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go about 15 more minutes, but remember, if you're watching us on Twitter, not all our episodes are available here, so come hang on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to keep answering questions. I got a couple more to get to, but let's keep going. Questions. There's some real tough ones out there. We'll go over some of ours, too, once we run out, because I need some help because I want to keep my foot on the pedal. All right, Smurfino? What language is that?
It looks like it'd be Spanish with the little tilde over the end. Although I don't think Smurfino. I don't know if that's an actual Spanish name, but I think there's a Spanish twist to it.
All right, nailed it. That's better than most of your advice.
Hey, maybe I should start. I don't really know Spanish very well. Maybe I should start teaching some Spanish.
All right, hey man, I need some flex help. PPR, pick one. Hollywood. I probably wouldn't read the rest, but let's keep going. Hollywood worthy out. Yep, we know that. Thank you. Cup versus Saints. Oh, yeah, JSN might play through the illness. Right. We should have mentioned that. I'm going to back up in a second. Also, Hampton and Diggs. Screw Diggs. He's a loser. What are we doing here? Nathan, I'm just going Hollywood, right?
I'm warming up to Cup, but I like Hollywood.
Okay, Anthony. I mean, that Jason illness, I forgot. That wouldn't factor in here. I wouldn't bench him, like play Nico DJ Moore, but Jason is sick. We've seen guys play sick and like play one snap and then go out. There's a crazy thing with Demario Douglas last year where he played the first series, had 2 catches, and then like didn't play again. So, but I would still, I don't know, Anthony, would you go Cup over Hollywood? For some reason, you're not loving my Hollywood.
No, I would go Hollywood. I'm not a big Cup guy at this point in his career anymore. I would go Hollywood over the Giants. I'd go Hollywood against the Giants here.
Okay. Yeah. The illness thing is a little tough, but Cup did look good week 2. But that Saints, I just feel like Seattle might prey on them. They could be up 21-7 at halftime, and then they're just going to run Ken Walker. We didn't talk about Zach Charbonnet is doubtful, right? So Ken Walker, where was he in your running back rankings, Nathan? Like, would you play Ken Walker or Jordan Mason? Like, because I would have those guys as must start over. Like,
it's got to be Ken Walker there, right? Like, you would have to be Ken Walker there.
Yeah.
I think I have Jordan Mason over Ken Walker.
How does it feel to be wrong?
I really like Ken Walker though. I did my rankings before the Charbonnet news, but Ken Walker is like the workload should be insane today.
And the Saints are bad versus the run.
I do like both running backs this week. I think they're both probably must starts.
I think they both finish as RB1s. Actually, like they're probably right there.
So you'd start both over Genti this week? Although the Commanders are giving up like 5.4 yards per rush.
All right.
I don't know, man.
Genti's getting hit behind the line of scrimmage like on 67% of his runs or something like that.
Pete Carroll's trying to get him 20 touches, though. Did you see that? I'm sure you saw that.
And 15 of them are going to go for a negative game.
Yeah, I guess that's... Yeah, you can get the ball 50 times if you're getting hit in the backfield on 45 of them. What's it really going to do, right?
Yeah, and him not blocking on that one play looked bad. All right, Dylan Fink, what up, my man? Let's have a good day. Let's have a day. Let us have a day. It's week 3. Let's go. I love week 3, especially when you're crushing in fantasy. 3 questions, 3 leagues, all full PPR, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Okay, that always helps. Thank you, my man. Juwan Johnson, Tucker Kraft, who got hurt at practice, but he's going to play. Quinshon Judkins, we covered. Ibuka, who's playing hurt. Okay, what are we doing here? I mean, do we have to go Tucker Kraft?
I think you do. I think if he plays, you play him. He's kind of reached the stud category in the first couple of weeks. But Juwan Johnson is a really, really good option to have as well. What's the timing of those games? Do they play at the same time? They don't. No, they don't. I was gonna. After. So if news comes out that like Tucker Kraft is going to be limited or on a pitch count, then you definitely go Juwan Johnson. But if it's
definitely Juwan Johnson.
If it's Kraft is going to play and he's expected to get like a full workload, snap count, whatever, then I think you probably go Kraft. But just pay attention to that news. It should be coming out in the next like 10, 20 minutes or so. At least for Kraft, that is.
And I think we're picking 2, right? So I might be leading Judkins. He looks so good. This is tough.
Saints, the Seahawks have allowed the most tight end fantasy points through 2 weeks, and the Saints are 7th in tight end fantasy usage so far.
Okay, Juwan Johnson. So John Johnson and Kraft, that seems kind of double tight end who aren't super studs.
Yeah, wow, you really got me thinking about Juwan Johnson now. Those are some electric stats that work in his favor.
They like him, and they're dropping back a lot with Rattler.
Weatherspoon's out too, so they might have, Seattle might have a little tough time, covering guys. Okay. Well, okay. Let's start a defense. Okay. Indy at Tennessee, Washington, Vegas, Chargers, Denver. We can pick any of these defenses?
Yeah. Just pick one. Oh boy. I'm going to rule out the Chargers defense. They play the best offense here. Sorry, the fly landed on my nose. They're the best offense here.
Indy, maybe? Bet against Cam Ward?
Yeah, Indy's defenses looked not terrible.
They look pretty good.
Right?
Better than expectations, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. And then Kraft versus Warren. Kraft. I don't know. I'm not benching Warren, right? He's got 74 yards in like back-to-back games, 6-7 catches. But Kraft's insane. If Kraft was fully healthy, I'd probably go Kraft because I think the Browns have the best rushing D in the league. So maybe Green Bay does open it up a little. Plus, he's kind of like their number one weapon with Jaden Reed and Christian Watson out and Matthew Golden not doing anything.
This is either going to be a statement game from Tucker Kraft or you should have started Tyler Warren.
Yeah, so would you guys go double Kraft here and just go all in? Or I'd probably start Kraft in the first league and then start Warren in the second, hedge a bit, because they both have high ceilings, high floors, high ceilings, high everything.
Yeah. I think I like Juwan more than Warren, in that sense. So I would play Kraft over Warren and then play Juwan Judkins in the first league.
Wow. Yeah, Nathan, you really got me switching my tune on Juwan Kraft. Obviously, if Kraft is fully healthy, but the injury news with him has been so wishy-washy. He got hurt, he tweaked his knee, then it was like, well, it's probably not season ending, and it's like, well, that means it's a long-term injury. Then it was like, well, he practiced, then it's like, well, he probably won't play, and all of a sudden he's playing, right?
That's true.
And with the stats with Juwan that Nathan provided, yeah, I would go Juwan over Kraft this week. And then I would probably go with Egbuka over Judkins. I just want to see it a little bit more. That Packers defense is electric. I'd probably go Juwan Egbuka for the first one. I would lean with the Washington defense, I think. And then I would go Kraft over Warren.
You're going to play the Washington defense?
I think I would.
All right. Well, Anthony's going off the reservation here.
I think so they're home. I mean, so I already ruled out the Chargers. The Colts go on the road, and I mean, I just don't. I
I
don't
don't
think
like a
that.
middling road defense. Yeah.
I don't think that there's a huge difference between those teams. Not that there's a huge difference between Washington and Vegas either, but Washington at home, I prefer the home defense if it's that close.
Okay. So sorry we couldn't give you consensus here, but we did our best.
Hopefully enough talking points to help you make an informed decision at the very least.
Okay, God we trust. So we got a Commanders fan, Kyler or Daniel Jones. Wow, Daniel Jones has been insane. I don't know. Can we bench him against KC? I mean, he's looked. Anthony, this is like your shining moment. You had him in March. You were drafting him. You're all over him. You convinced me. And he's been better than even expected.
That's right. Daniel Jones. I always said he was going to be a starting quarterback from week 1, and here we are. I think I would probably go with Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray. Jones has looked better so far this season. That I think I'd lean Jones here, although it doesn't feel great, and I'm not entirely convinced myself, but I'd go Jones.
Yeah, Nathan. I mean, Kyler also kind of a loser, like Diggs. I just don't want to back him. I don't trust him. They're 2-0. He's due for a stinker. They beat the Niners last year, so Niners kind of revenge game in division. What's the fear? So Giants are playing KC. The KC just has a Indy, Tennessee. Yeah. So I don't fear Tennessee. I'm starting Daniel Jones no matter what.
Yeah, I think I play Daniel Jones here. His rushing upside has been pretty consistent too. Someone I forget who noted, but Shane Steichen comes from Eagles offense, so they run a lot of QB sneaks behind Daniel Jones. So in those goal line, expect Jones to take anything inside the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been great, and I just think that Indy offense has just got so many weapons. When are we going to see Josh Downs take over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Anthony, I got to see. Is Anthony do this question?
Yeah, that's fine. Pick 2 in a full PPR league. We've got T. Higgins, DJ Moore, Cam Scatbo, or Tucker Kraft. I think for me, the automatic here is T. Higgins, right, Nathan? Like, it's got to be T. Higgins. Just the most talented player. I understand it's a backup quarterback. We're kind of so on the Vikings defense. It's only been 2 weeks. They've been pretty good, but I mean, T. Higgins is just by far the best player here, right?
Yeah, I think he's just a tier above everybody on the list. Well, Tucker Kraft might be there, but with the injury,
yeah, I guess that's fair. So I think we're gonna lock in T. Higgins pretty easily here, and then Nathan.
I really like Cam Scatabo.
I was gonna say that was what I was gonna bring up. I know you were a big Scatabo guy.
He is so good at picking up blitz and pass protection, and against the Chiefs defense, like, he's gonna be on the field so much. Like, I feel like he showed it enough last week. They're 0-2. He might just see the field 80% of the time just because he's that much more valuable on the field, and he's a great pass catcher, full PPR in this league. Got to have this game, but TJ Moore's in that blow-up game.
I think I lean DJ Moore, and I hate it. If Tucker Kraft were healthy, Tucker Kraft would be the 2.
Sorry about that. I agree. If Tucker Kraft was healthy, I think he's the choice here. And I'm very much an err on the side of see it first and then play him after when you can. So I would wait to see where Scadabu's role is at, and then just take DJ Moore with the highest point total on the slate.
I think I do that too. And I know you talked about Scapo being a really good pass catcher. Let's not forget Tyrone Tracy is a converted receiver. Obviously a very good pass catcher as well. I'm not saying that Scapo isn't going to get those opportunities, because he certainly did, but I don't know that he's just going to be the passing down back, right? Because Tracy is also really good at that. So I think it might just wane kind of depending on like game plan and matchup, what they do with the Giants running backs. So yeah, I think T. Higgins and then DJ Moore is the second guy we're going to go with here. Nathan, do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, good job, guys. I think I'm in on you with this Tucker Kraft fade. It seems sketchy, like suffered knee injury, he's going to play. It just, Something smells off there. So
sometimes just talking it through kind of helps too. Because I know before with the question with Juwan Jennings, I was pretty much, or Juwan Johnson, I was pretty much, Tucker Kraft, and then talking with you guys more and thinking about it more, it's like maybe we do fade Tucker Kraft this week.
Yeah, the T Higgins I'm a little worried about because back in QBs will hyper target their alphas, so maybe he's just looking Chase's way, and it's just the first read share is crazy. But the Flores defense, they might blanket Chase too. So
I understand that in normal situations, for sure. But I think that T Higgins is a guy that would be an alpha on 27 other teams. So I think the Bengals just have two alphas. But your point is definitely taken there that the quarterback usually goes to the number one or the tight end as a safety valve
or the check down. Yeah. Okay. Carlos Bob. Ibuka or Jordan Mason PPR? Okay, so Jordan Mason takes a hit in PPR because he's not really much of a receiving back, but I don't think it matters. Let's say Ibuka was healthy. Nathan, are you starting Ibuka? Because we're all starting Jordan Mason here, right?
Yeah, but if he was healthy, probably Ibuka.
The full PPR makes it really close, but I think I would lean Jordan Mason either way. With Aaron Jones out, it's really going to be the Jordan Mason show, right? And Ibuka is, he's the hotness. He's the new rookie. He's been great. He scored 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks as well. I think we need to keep that into consideration. Touchdowns, unless you're James Cook, apparently, the touchdowns kind of come and go, and it will kind of regress back to the mean. So I would go Jordan Mason here. He's going to get a ton of volume.
And my brains, who are the Bucs playing this week? My brain fell.
The Jets.
The Jets, right? So maybe their defense.
It's a pretty decent secondary, pretty good defense on paper. I would.
Yeah, but Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns in week 1, so it's like, are they good? Are they good? We don't know. But Jordan Mason's going to go crazy this week. Bengals are terrible against the run. Like, he's having 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, Jordan Mason will break a 50-yarder. I'm going to be betting his yards. I just think, unless it's like 80, his rush yards are crazy high. I just think he's a smash play. I love Jordan Mason. If you're saying Jordan Mason or, I'm taking Jordan Mason, unless the or is Roma Dunze. Okay, Mr. Magic, would you play Tony Pollard over Keenan Allen? I don't know. Nathan, would you?
The volume will be there. The touchdowns just haven't been there. I think they could be there this week. I'd probably take Pollard versus Keenan's old self against the Denver secondary.
Yeah, and with the Chargers, Quentin Johnson's been good. Ladd's the best. So it's like they got 3 of them. Does Surtain? Does he maybe stand on the one side? Maybe he shadows Keenan, which would suck. So I think there's a fear Keenan could get shut out. Anthony, are you worried about that at all? Or are you just going to take Pollard? He's got that high floor.
So I'm not worried about Keenan getting shut out because the best corner is going to follow him. I would presume if they're going to do that, they would follow Ladd McConkey. But I would still go Pollard with the volume. The Chargers have 3 good receivers. Tyler Conklin is not a bad tight end. And then they've got 2 running backs that are, for fantasy, hard to trust. But to try to win a football game, you can probably trust both of them. Too many mouths to feed over there in LA that I would rather take the starting running back if it's going to get just a ton of volume in Pollard.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to Surtain would shadow him, but maybe Surtain just stays on one side and Keenan's on that side.
Oh, sure, right, yeah.
Right, but I think Keenan will be using the slot. Keenan's been great, but if Surtain's near him, it's going to be a wrap. And why would you throw to Surtain's side when you got Ladd and Quentin Johnson's, right? Yep. I don't know, man. Says Devontae Smith or Marvin Harrison on PPR. I'm not starting Devontae Smith, so I am starting Marvin Harrison. I don't think you can start a Philly wide receiver if it was A.J. Brown or Marvin Harrison. Nathan, what are you doing?
Oh, man. Thankfully, I don't have to actually make this decision myself, but non-PPR, I'll take Marvin Harrison for a touchdown shot over A.J. Brown this week. The Eagles just aren't throwing downfield.
We're starting Harrison over Devontae Smith, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do A.J. Brown and Marvin Harrison, right? Eagles don't have a passing touchdown. Rams have only allowed 1.
Yeah, I'd go Harrison.
I would too. It feels kind of ugly, but I feel like with the Eagles receivers, you almost just have to see it at this point before you can trust them, right?
I almost might have to see it twice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially the Eagles, like their run over expectation is really high, and then also the Rams, the way the Rams have been playing, their teams are running over expectation on them too. So I guess they're kind of going nickel and trying to force teams to run on them. So it just shapes up as a Saquon game. I think this is going to be like a 17-14. I don't want any part of Rams Eagles. God we trust again. Okay, what up, my man? Full PPR flex spot: Mike Evans, Travis Etienne, or Kyron Williams. Well, this is tough because Evans hasn't been great, but if Ibuka's banged up, maybe he gets a little more usage. Maybe he lights up Sauce. Etienne's been killing it. And then Kyron versus that Eagles line is tough. So probably Evans, Etienne. Nathan, where are you leaning?
Yeah. If it's pick one, I really like Travis Etienne. I'd probably go Etienne.
Okay, I think they say they're going to use Bashul Tootin a little bit more too. He's looked good. Anthony, what are you doing here?
I'd lean Mike Evans, especially with the Ibuka injury. They might kind of try to lean into Mike Evans a little bit more. Although Etienne has been doing really well this season. It's like you said, John, it's clear that they want to get Tootin a little bit more work. Look how much he was on the field and produced just the week after Tank Bigsby was traded, right? So I would lean Mike Evans here, but Etienne would be a good play too.
Yeah, so does the PPR factor in? I don't know. Is Etienne being used in the passing game at all? I haven't watched that much Jacksonville.
Mildly, but I feel like Tootin is the better pass catcher of the two.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tootin was pretty explosive, known for his speed in college and his breakaway speed. And I think he's a pretty decent pass catcher. So I could see him being utilized more in that role than Etienne, even though Etienne is a good pass catcher too.
Okay, well, wow, we've been going well over an hour. You guys good to go a couple more minutes?
Yeah, I've got like 5 more minutes.
5 more. Okay, 5 more. That's the clock. Start the clock. Ernie Torres, Wershing, DeAndre Swift, Calvin Ridley, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Nick Chubb. Need 2 running back and a flex. Okay, Anthony, anyone just jump out at you here? Must start.
Hubbard,
yeah.
Hubbard.
Day 1, Chuba, whatever.
Hubbard's the guy you got to start. And then,
are you worried at all about the offensive line injuries to Carolina?
No, because the only thing they can do is really run the ball. And Chuba Hubbard is just good. I mean, like the offensive line wasn't really great last year, and he was a top 15 running back. So no, that doesn't really worry me with Chuba Hubbard. It might lower his ceiling a little bit, but I still think he's clearly the best start out of these 5 games.
I worry that game looks shootout, and it's going to be 13-10. That's my only fear.
Yeah, that certainly could be the case as well. It could be the case for a lot of games, I think, this week. But the volume is going to be there. And speaking of volume, Pollard would be like the volume guy next, right? But I think there's more of a question there between Pollard and the other 3 if we're automatically starting Hubbard, which I would.
I think that's Swift, because if we want to get everyone in game, like that Kyle Monaghy or whatever his name hasn't really done anything yet.
Mungai,
there we go. Thank you. Swift has been pretty good. And, Dallas is going to be crap against the run, getting, check downs. So Chicago's desperate. I think if I didn't have a piece of the Chicago-Dallas game, I would probably want Swift in there.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, if I had to pick 2, I'd probably go Swift first and then Hubbard more reluctantly.
And then Pollard right close behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we got a backup. Okay, another one. Swift, Ridley, Hubbard, Pollard. Okay, so it's the same, but we're...
Oh, no, he didn't pop it in. So we just added Tucker Kraft to the situation. Right?
Okay, we're adding, just in case, Kraft. Kraft is not moving the needle. Healthy Kraft would probably move the needle for me. But again, Anthony, I think you made a really good point. Something's not right there. They were sketchy, and we've learned that, we can't trust these teams.
Yeah, my answer doesn't change here. I would still co-sign on Hubbard and Swift. I do just want to know on Ridley really quickly, since
we talked about him.
Question about him coming up next too.
Don't read ahead.
Oh, just trying to be prepared. So Alec Ayomanor looks like he's emerging to be the wide receiver 1 there. Which makes me a little bit nervous about Calvin Ridley moving forward. I don't think it's time to panic, of course, but the connection between the rookies with Cam Ward and Io Manor has really been there, I think, the past 2 weeks, and just something to monitor. Hopefully, if he's on your waiver wire, please pick him up very quickly. So I just wanted to note that as well about Ridley and the Titans as a whole.
Okay, great. Yeah, Ridley's that's just Tennessee's a bit of a fade team for me. Okay, DeMarcus McNeely, JCM, or Ridley for flex. Oh, Ridley with it next. Okay. Nathan, what are we doing? Because you're playing Washington, the Raiders. Do we trust that rush defense? So are we trying to get out of JCM with no Brian Robinson, no Austin Eckler?
Yeah, so the volume should be there for JCM, but the Raiders' one strongest suit has been stopping the run so far on defense.
Is it for real though?
That's a good question. They stopped Omar and Hampton. They held him to like 8 for 24 on the ground in week 2.
That's pretty good.
And week 1 they shut down Henderson and Stevenson, and Stevenson came out and had a good game in week 2.
Good points.
Yeah, take what you want with that. I'd say Krosky Merritt doesn't have the talent to say that like he should necessarily do any better than the other two, but the Washington offensive line does block really well, so that could factor into it. I would probably start Ridley because full PPR and he's going to be out there, and you don't really know how the snap share breakdown will be for Krosky Merritt. As Chris Rodriguez, I believe, is still there behind him, and he's been with the team for a few years now. But I would err on the side of Ridley.
Okay, I think I'm leading JCM because with Mariota, I just think they're going to try and run the ball 30 times, so there might be some options, probably a lot of screens. I think if that ball is going to move, it's going to be JCM, but maybe Debo goes to like RB2.
Yeah, I'd lean Bill Krosky Merritt just because, I mean, Nathan talked about Chris Rodriguez being on the team for a couple of years. Other than that, I mean, they don't have another running back. It would be Debo, who is actually a pretty good running back, right? But I just think that JCM could get a lot of volume this week. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, who really knows? That game might just be ugly all around, right? But I'd lean Bill Krosky Merritt in his first start as what we as fans and fantasy pundits and whatever are expecting a kind of a large workload. So I'd go with JCM over Ridley.
Yeah, it's tough. That Raiders I don't know. Are they a good rush defense? But I guess
we're a good rush defense, but I feel like we're a bad overall defense. So the scoring opportunities will still be there.
Yeah,
put it like that.
Yeah, it's just a weird because it's like, Washington wants to run it, and the Raiders are good stopping the run. One's going to break, right? We just don't know which one. Okay, Alex Flores, a Cooper Kupp or Troy Franklin, right? On Denver, Franklin's kind of made some moves. I picked him up on a league. Anyone have any? I mean, I think you got to go Cooper Kupp, but
Franklin got a lot of manufactured touches. If this was full PPR, I'd probably for sure lean Troy Franklin.
Really? Okay.
Just because of the way he was getting his work, I feel was very, very purposeful, and it was to success last week. So I don't see why they wouldn't want to get him the ball again.
Okay, Anthony, because no Evan Ingram, who's your guy. Do you trust Troy Franklin with JCN thickness? Because there's a chance JCN, if he's sicker than leading on and he's limited snap share, Cooper Kupp's a wide receiver 1. Jason.
No. Yeah, no. I hate this one. I like Troy Franklin. He was on my waiver wire article. I hope you picked him up. I would have dropped Marvin Mims straight up for him. I think I noted as well in the article. He seems to kind of be taking on the wide receiver 2 role. The Cooper Kupp with a JSN illness. I think I would maybe lean with Cooper Kupp, but I really like Franklin a lot too.
Okay. Okay, guys, we've been going almost 75 minutes, so this is the last question. We're going to wrap up. Everyone's got to go. We got to check our lineups. We got blurbs. We got a lot of pregame stuff. So, Papo, you get the finale. Full PPR. 2 flex, Pearsall, Travis Hunter, Troy Franklin, DeAndre Swift, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk playing his first game of the season. I have him in a couple leagues. I don't know if I'm starting him. Nathan, quickly, what are we doing? We're starting Ricky Pearsall, right?
Yeah, I think it's Pearsall and Swift for me here.
Okay. Anthony, Travis Hunter, is he jumping in? Like he's kind of catching these short routes. It looks ugly.
Ricky P and oh boy, it'd be between Swift and Hunter for me. Probably Swift just because the game that should be a great game. So I'd go Pearsall Swift. Hunter's a third.
Just lastly, do you guys like Christian Kirk rest of the season? Because I've always liked him playing next to Swift with the injury. Yeah, but I'm not too worried about the injury. I think that's just
I like him. Yeah, I like him in the sense that we haven't seen either of the Houston rookies kind of show up and emerge yet. So I feel like that wide receiver 2 spot is kind of there for the taking behind Nico Collins still, and Christian Kirk could come out and just fill that role.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes DeAndre Swift, but just that game, he might get 3 to 5, goal line touches, maybe 5 red zone opportunities. He should find the end zone, and it's all about touchdowns. Brian, you don't get to come in at the end of the podcast. Mariota, Stafford, Wentz, second QB, unless you're playing against Brian, which I think I am. So I think you should start Wentz. I actually like Wentz, but
Stafford for me. Just go with the most talented guy here. Wentz hasn't. When was the last time Wentz actually played in the NFL? Right.
Played well.
And then Mariota is what he is at this point. Stafford for me, despite the matchup, despite everything, is just the guy I would go with here.
Okay, I think I'm playing Brian. So, but anyways, all right. Thanks, guys. This was a great show. Thank you, Goncalo, for jumping in. Happy birthday, Nathan. Anthony, thank you for coming in late. This was great. Any questions I didn't get to, just hit me at Twitter or join our Discord. I will get to them before the game. We're gonna start doing pods on Tuesday. So check us out Tuesday and next Thursday, and obviously next Sunday. All right, thanks, guys. Great show, long show, perfect show.
Happy to be here. Good luck, everybody. Pickens over at